Hi David, how special is this game for you and how do you look back on your time in Prague?
Yeah, it's for me it's really special, the game, and of course not the easy one for us, and especially for me. But now I just focus on my performance and the performance of the team, and I really want that we're gonna put the performance that our fans deserve, because so far we just collected points away from home. So in these terms, I think it's good time. But of course, we know also their strength, and it's not gonna be easy game. So in that sense, we need to put really good performance today to be able to win. So that's my main focus now. And in terms of I spent great 3 years there. In the start, I was struggling a little bit with the injuries, which now it's maybe a little bit different with me. But then afterwards, we won the cup there. After 6-7 years, we won a trophy for Sparta. So Sparta was not in the great position like in last 2 years with our coach there. So when I was there, we weren't able to win so many games like they were doing, and so they made really huge steps in the last 3-4 years for sure.
Yeah, you talk about home and away. Do you have an explanation for the big difference between the home and away games from Feyenoord this season in Champions League?
I don't know. Maybe it's just a little bit of coincidence. I cannot explain this, because like we always do, like we are always preparing for the games. Then, yeah, for me and I think for every player, the home games are a little bit easier. You know, we play in the Kuip and we play in the home, so you always feel in more strength in the home game. So I don't know how to explain, but of course it's nice, and the best teams they are able to win, and also now in Eredivisie I think we made a record. We are unbeaten for 20 games in a row, so that's something which good teams they need to have. So it's nice that we are collecting points away, but yeah, I think it's the right time tomorrow to try to win it at home.
Yeah, because you can almost smell the next round. Yeah, do you see it as a big opportunity to reach that goal?
Yeah, that's like also what interview I had before. It was always about this, that if we are calculating or not. But like I said in the first question, that I'm focused on my performance, and today I felt really good in the training session. Also, I felt the energy from the team that we want to have good results tomorrow, but we are more looking at what's the game plan, what we need to do in terms to be dominant on the ball, how to press, how to defend. And then I know when we can put these things on the pitch tomorrow, especially with our fans, I think we have a good chance to win the game.
Thank you very much.
Dennis. Ja, mag daar.
Hi. I assume you still follow Sparta Prague more close than other teams in the Champions League. Does this mean you have some insights about how to beat them more than usually beforehand?
Like I said in the first question, and the first 2 years, I think I watched every game because they were on different schedule. But this year they are on the same schedule as us, so a lot of games we are playing in the same time. So then it's difficult. But of course, I know every result. I know the lineups. I know the guys. So yeah, in these terms, but I know what they are doing. But also in the last period, they changed a little bit. So. We prepared today for more options they can do on the pitch, and in these terms, it's like I said before, it's a special game for me. So I want to be, because I know the guys they gonna push, and in terms of a little bit of because of me, also because of coach, I think they really bad wants to beat us. So in these terms, we need to put a really good performance.
You just spoke about your injuries you had in Prague. While here in Rotterdam, you are known as the guy who's always fit. What happened? What made that change? What's the reason that you are so fit since you're here as well?
I think it was also a little bit with my body, that I was always doing extra from the young age. I always wanted to do more than usually, or what the other players are doing. But maybe my body was. Yeah, when you look at me now, I'm more with the muscles, more with the strength, and before when you look at my pictures when I arrived in Sparta, I was still like a boy, and I was 21. So maybe just my body needs to develop a little bit more, and then on the side, of course, in these last 2.5 years, how we are working here in terms of the strength coach, how the trainings are on the pitch, that they are really controlling us. and also in the gym. I think when I speak in national team with all the guys, what they are doing in the gym, like pre-activation, strength training, afterwards some prevention, and also the guys are playing in bigger clubs than me, and when I speak with them, they are not doing as many things as we are doing. So I think also the professionalism in Feyenoord, how we are training, it really helped me that I'm always able to play game.
Last thing, this summer there were of course transfer talks about you. Seemingly it didn't affect you mentally when we look at your games, at how you're performing here. It wasn't difficult. Was that really the case?
Yeah, of course, I was a little bit disappointed because it was not the easy summer. I said it a few times, but like before, I never wanted to leave because I don't want to be here. I always look at it as a next step in my career to. When I was also, it was not easy for me to leave Sparta to come here because I had really good connections there, and I was playing well there also in the last 1.5 year. And so in these terms, I was disappointed, but also the coach, he helped me a lot. In this period, he was speaking with me a lot. So after the moment I know that it's not happening, I just switched. And when I was arriving in the morning to training, I was like, okay, what we're gonna do what I was doing the last 2 years here, and I wanna have as best season as I can in terms of my performances and also as a team to be successful.
Thanks.
Gaan we naar de linkerkant? Ja, zeker.
Still, I want a question about the away games and the home games in Europe. What you as a team have learned from the matches against Leverkusen and Salzburg? You have to learn something, no?
Yeah, I think we can use these games as some help in the. Of course, I think the Leverkusen game was a little bit. I think we didn't start that bad, but our mistakes let us down. So of course, this is the thing that we maybe as a game management we need to play more safe in the start of the game, and this we can take from the Leverkusen game, and then also when you look at the lineup which we were in against Salzburg, it was many injured players, and I think it was after Utrecht game, we need to change the coach needs to change 6 guys. Because of injuries, it was not like we wanted to change so much, but of course then the relationships, the pressing was not good, and Salzburg played a really good game, and I think also in terms of intensity we were not there, and this could be a huge lesson also for us for tomorrow, that we need to be really really intensive in terms of second balls, duels, and then when we put the ball down, then we're gonna try to play our best football.
Yeah, you talk like a coach already.
Yeah,
I can just leave. It's perfect.
Yes, but the coach, I want to involve you a little because, David, your coach has said, well, David, he's a soldier. What is a soldier in football, according to you?
It's a great compliment. And I'm hearing this in the last 2 years quite a lot, and I'm really happy and I'm proud of it. But for me, it's like what I always wanted to do. So for me, like I said before, when my coach or my teammates they need me, or I feel that they are happy that I'm on the pitch and I can help them, that makes me even more stronger. I'm more motivated, and also with the fans. That I said it many times. The first games, I think they were quite good for me here in Rotterdam, and afterwards I felt they are expecting something from me, and they were really like how I playing. And from that moment, I always want to, every game I want to repeat it, that they have this standard for me, and I want always to deliver it. And it's like I said, maybe it looks tougher than it is, because when you always step in the Kuip or away, when I see the sector of our fans, it's so much easier to fight for the club.
Thank you, man.
Yes, Marcel anderen nog voor David?
David, how do you think you are perceived or seen at your old club?
Yeah, maybe that's a good question for next press conference, which will be afterwards. But I hope I think I had a quite good connection with the fans also over there, and they were happy with me, and I remember when I was leaving. I think I was after third league game already with the coach, and yeah, they were screaming in the end after the game that my name, and afterwards like stay, and there was something special that they did this, because in the media I was already all over in the media, and I was not sure if the transfer will be completed, but then after I think 3 or 4 days I could come here, and yeah, that was really really special for me that in the end they really wanted me to stay, and also coach, I think when he signed, I think after a few hours I saw it in the media, I had a call from him that he wanted me to stay, and yeah, in the end I came here, and I promised that if he comes to Rotterdam, then I'm gonna stay, and I stayed, so we are even now.
Well, of course, when you went, you still read the newspapers, you saw the television there. I think, how is the man seen next to you at Sparta?
Yeah, I think they should be grateful what he did there in the last 2 years, and it was, for me as a fan, it was amazing to watch it, and also I was a little bit jealous that I didn't have him these 3 years when I was there before, so we were not able to do what he was doing there in the last 2 years. So this was a little bit like if he came a little bit earlier, I could won the title also over there. But yeah, I think the finish was not that easy for him, also for the club, because they were really happy with him, and like it was for us when our best players in the last 2 years they were leaving. It's never easy. So, but I think they are really happy, and also that even if he was not there in the start of the season, I think that's why they are in the Champions League. It's also big credit to him, because in the last 2 years, yeah, they couldn't win a title. I think it was 9 years, and then he came in 2 years, 2 titles, cup. So yeah, that's amazing. And I was there 3 years before, and we had this period where we were not able to do it.
Thank you very much.
No more questions for David? Oh. You do one more, because you're the only one for all the check today. So.
Ještě jsem se právě chtěl zeptat, jak jste si říkal, že už jste si teďka jako vyrovnaní s Brianem, tak vlastně ani pro Briana to teď v těch prvních měsících ve Feyenoordu nebylo snadné, stejně jako ve Spartě, tak proč si myslíte, že ta trpělivost by měla být tady stejně jako ve Spartě pro trenéra?
Tak samozřejmě ta trpezlivost tam je, a vlastně myslím, že celý klub mu verí, a samozrejme ten začiatok nebol úplne ideálny pre nás, čo sa týka výsledkov a takisto aj nejakého herného prejavu, ale ja som vedel, že sa budeme zlepšovať, a nemyslím si, že to malo nejaké dočinenia kvôli trénerovi, ale skôr si myslím, že to bolo o tom, že na začiatku sme neboli ready a mali sme pár zranení, a to mužstvo sa dávalo dokopy trošku neskôr v tom prestupovom období, takže to, čo sa stalo potom, keď sme naskočili na tú sériu výhier a takisto aj nejaké super výsledky v Champions League, tak to bolo kvôli tomu, že sme boli dlhšie pokope a začali sme chápať, alebo vedeli sme, čo tréner od nás chce, a tie výsledky prišli.
Yes, dank allemaal. Thank you.
Thank you. Good afternoon.
We gaan verder met de hoofdtrainer en dat doen we vanaf links. NOS.
Trainer.
Hoi.
Hoi.
Goedemiddag.
Goedemiddag. Ja, ik kan natuurlijk vragen vertellen over Sparta Praha, je oude club. Maar misschien is het leuk om te vragen, wat is het grootste verschil tussen Sparta Praha en dit Feyenoord?
Yeah, that's a question that I need to think a little bit more than usual. Well, I think in some aspects, it's or some elements, it has the same position in each country. So a top club, clubs that fight for championships. But then obviously the culture difference is an issue. Sparta is in Czech Republic, and Feyenoord is here in Holland, where the football culture is different. Mentality is different also in Holland compared to Czech Republic.
Please explain a bit, if it's possible.
Well, I think it's difficult to explain in short terms, but I think it's normal that countries are different. Countries have different values, different backgrounds, different cultures in general, that is for sure one of the elements that are different when I look at the two clubs. Pressure was big in Prague, for sure, when it comes to especially winning titles. And when I arrived, it was 9 years ago that we lifted a title. So you definitely felt that the hunger there was big. And fans also expected championships. And here it's also massive. And in Feyenoord, a lot of fans, a lot of supporters, 45,000 people sitting at the curb every weekend we play at home. Also has a big impact, and probably bigger than at Sparta.
Je zei afgelopen weekend tegen RKC was een van de slechtste wedstrijden, of in ieder geval één helft van jouw Feyenoord. Kan het dan alleen maar beter gaan dus?
Yeah, it can. Maybe it was also a short moment of some emotions, but no, I was for sure disappointed with the last 30 minutes of the game. And that was probably what I tried to explain, that was for me the biggest disappointment in my period here. I felt we were not in control the last 30 minutes against RKC. With all the respect to them, they played a good game, but they played what we expected, also waiting for transitions. But from my point of view, we handed away the dominance in the second half. We gave RKC opportunities to hurt us. We had that bit of luck we didn't have in some games where they hit the post 2 times. And that disappointed me a bit, that we let a win being a bit insecure.
Tomorrow completely different.
I would definitely like so, yes. But I heard also David say it's not going to be an easy game. Champions League games, they're not easy. All the teams here are good teams, good players. Also, we will face a team tomorrow with a lot of internationals who are playing for their countries as well. It's a group that's been together for quite some time. So they know exactly what to do. They play very direct. They got good players up front to hurt us on transition. So we definitely have to take away some of the lessons from RKC with being in control, being dominant, game management, stuff like this.
Sinclair, ESPN.
De coach, Lars Vries, daar heb je samen mee gewerkt in Denemarken. Die heb je gehaald. Je had hem ook graag meegenomen naar Rotterdam. Wat kan je vertellen over je connectie met hem?
Obviously, it's a coach that I know quite well. As you said, we worked a couple of years together in Midtjylland, and then obviously one and a half year together in Prague. So he's a good coach. He's been trying different positions in various clubs, working with youth, working with development, working as an assistant coach, but also being a head coach before he came to Prague as an assistant. So he's a good coach, and also now it's probably his biggest job as a head coach, where the pressure for sure is on, and he also feels the pressure differently now when he is in charge and having the full responsibility, and also feeling some of the things we talk about as a club as Sparta Prague, where they expect the championships.
Is het nu in de aanloop naar die wedstrijd een voordeel voor jou of een nadeel dat je alles van elkaar weet? Zowel jij van Vries, maar Vries ook van jou?
Yeah, that's one of the questions. I don't think we'll ever get the right answer to it. Preparation has been the same as always, but obviously me, Lucas, who was also with me in Prague, we obviously know a little bit more background. David knows the team also really well, so we definitely have some insight. But at the end of the day, it's gonna be 90 minutes out here. It's gonna be full on. And as David also said, we hopefully have learned a few things from the first 2 games in Champions League at home, and be able to play a perfect game here at the curb. That would be our target for sure, because we would love to give our supporters a great evening here.
Ja, want van tevoren is het Feyenoord altijd moeilijk te peilen. We hebben het een paar keer over gehad. De laatste weken natuurlijk Fortuna, RKC moeizaam. Ook in de Champions League verwacht je misschien niet dat jullie bij Benfica en Manchester wat halen en weer wel tegen Salzburg. Dit is ook weer zo'n wedstrijd. Zie je dit ook als een matchpoint om jullie doel te verwezenlijken?
No, it's for sure an important step on the way to the next round in Champions League. We know that. That's the facts. We can also look at the ranking, and especially when you play at home, you would love to take 3 points. We haven't been able to do it, and if we can take a win, then we can see that we're on a good way. But as any other professional in the sports, then you want to keep focus on just this game and do everything you can, put all the effort in to win this game tomorrow. That will be fantastic if we can finish these first months off with 3 points in Champions League.
Dennis, RTV Rijnmond.
Dank je. Als trainer analyseer je natuurlijk ook vooral de zwaktes van je eigen ploeg. Hè, en waar er iets te halen valt in het systeem dat je zelf speelt. Betekent dit dat je juist van deze tegenstander daardoor als geen ander ook weet hoe je ze moet bestrijden?
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that with 2 years together over there, then of course I know the system quite well. But I think you guys also seen that they changed formation a little bit and maybe being a little bit more compact and playing more direct than the previous months. But I think in general, coaches, we always try to analyze the different systems, different formations, and find the strength, but obviously also the weaknesses. And obviously that's what we've been trying to give to the players this morning and also yesterday, trying to figure out how we can play our style of football together with Sparta.
Zijn er overeenkomsten met jouw eerste maanden in Praag? Ook toen een reeks met veel gelijkspelen. En daarna ging het draaien met wat je hier bij Feyenoord bent tegengekomen?
Well, I think it's the easy conclusion, yes. That it was a little bit the same feeling maybe. I think it's two different situations, to be honest. But it's easy to look at it and say, yeah, the start seemed the same, a little bit difficult, and then slowly things are moving. But as I said, I think it's been two different situations. Here we had a big turnover with 11 new players and key players leaving as well. Expectations always big here. So I think it's been two different situations, but I understand your question, and it's also quite easy to see he had the same start in Sparta, and then slowly it was moving up. So on the other hand, I would love that we could finish in the same way that we did in Sparta, but I know it's not that easy. That's why I try to do my job 100%. I did it 4 months ago. I do the same now. But as we talked about sometimes, I think time is always working with you as a coach if you're able to analyze the situations quite well. And I think we as a team and as a group have taken good steps, which we also should.
Ik zag Gernot Trauner vanmiddag op het trainingsveld. Ook Bueno deed mee met de groepstraining. Wat kun je zeggen over hun inzetbaarheid?
Yeah, they both of them are available.
Kan Trauner starten?
Yeah, we'll see tomorrow.
Maar het zou kunnen. Dat is...
When he's available. Then.
Ja, soms weet je ook dat iemand alleen maar kan invallen.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't think Gernot has been out too long. I think it's different when you got players out for 5, 6 weeks. But Gernot is for sure available for playing a lot of minutes. And yeah, we have to make some choices regarding the lineup. Who's the best fit for the opponent also.
Ja, hou je daarin ook rekening met de rechtsbackpositie, met nieuwkoop die vaak ook geen 90 minuten vol kan houden, dat je dus aan de voorkant weet, ik moet misschien met andere verdedigers gaan schuiven.
Yeah, I think I learned the lesson. At Feyenoord, it's never quiet and anything can happen. So I think we always got a plan B, C, maybe even D also.
Succes.
Dank u.
Even aan die kant, ja, Mikos, een rijtje naar voren.
Ja, trainer, is er iets aan de hand met Quinten Timber of is dat slechts iets wat in de pers speelt of bij het publiek?
Then you have to help me a bit because I don't know what's going on in the media. But he's been training the last many days.
Nou ja, er was wat kritiek dat hij zijn spel niet haalde. En Rafael van der Vaart zei dat het misschien zou liggen aan de aanvoerdersband. Dat erg op hem drukt. En zijn fitheid was natuurlijk een probleem hè, sinds de Interlands.
Okay, that's new for me. I don't see it that way. I think Quinten is very critical towards himself and his performances. I also talked to him after the game, and he was not completely happy with AKC, for example. But I think if you look back just a few weeks or months, then I think Quinten played a lot of good games for us. Also when he was wearing the captain band. So yeah, I think it's just talking, to be honest. But that's just my feeling. I have a good relationship with Quinten, and I don't see a player who's feeling more pressure than usual, and definitely not because of the captaincy. He's taken responsibility, which I also expect from him. but mainly he's a football player that needs to perform, and that's what he's trying to do every day.
En zijn fitheid, die was natuurlijk rond die Interlands niet goed. Is die helemaal vrij of zit daar toch nog wel iets?
Yeah, no, I think he looks good. He looks fit. He's been training also and has been pushing. But I think you see it with a lot of these players. 1 month or 6 weeks they can perform a really, really high level, and then maybe they reach out in a couple of games where they don't really reach their top level. That's also football. These guys play amazing amount of games a season, and to be focused for every game throughout the whole season. I don't think you see a lot of players performing at 100 throughout the whole season and not having 1 game or 2 games or whatever where they perform less. It is sports and it is football, and the most important thing for me is that I see a captain and I see a player who is willing to give everything as long as he's on the pitch, and also ready to help his teammates, and that I see from Quinten on the pitch and also next to it.
Oké, dankjewel.
Ja, even naar de overkant. Derde rij, Martijn.
Je zult best tevreden zijn over je buitenspelers, hè, en het rendement van de jongens. Welke positie zie je nou voor Stenks in het team? Is het middenvelder of is het een aanvaller?
I think he can play different positions. He can play in the midfield and also on the side, yeah.
Maar je bent altijd op één positie beter dan op de andere, toch?
That's a good question.
En wat vind jij?
Yeah, as I said, I think he can play both positions.
Even goed dus?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
It all depends. Opponent depends on the game plan. It depends on how we see he can have an impact. But I think he can cover both positions.
Ik heb het niet zelf gezien, maar ik las dat je bij RKC nog een kleine discussie met hem had na afloop van de wedstrijd. Of?
No, not really. We talked about the game just straight after with a lot of players and also staff. I think all of us we were really happy with the 3 points. Very, very happy. But we were also, as I said, disappointed with the performance the last 30 minutes, and that's why I love these guys so much, because they are so professional, and they want to perform at their highest every time. And when they don't, then they get frustrated, and they want to do better, and they want to improve, and they want to find out why things is not as it should. And that's what we discussed after the game, because I think it's obvious when you lead 2-1 away from home against RKC. First half you had 72% the ball possession, and then you end up in the second half where you give away the ball a lot of times, and you end up with a 50-50 in second half ball possession and give away dominance. It's not necessary, and that what frustrated us, and we were not able to kill the game before the end, and made it difficult for us to pick up a win.
Eén ding nog, je voormalige assistent heeft volgens mij in de Tsjechische media gezegd dat het tot de winter bij hem er even niet meer gaat of er leuk gevoetbald gaat worden, maar het gaat puur om het resultaat. Verwacht je dan ook een ander soort Sparta hier morgen? Heel verdedigend bijvoorbeeld?
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be the same as we've seen in the Champions League so far. Whether they've played 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, which they've done in the previous games, then I think they will try to be compact and go for counters. I know it's also a high pressing team, so they will also take their moments here to go high on us, and that's where we have to find the solutions and outplay them and see if we can hurt them in the back as well. We for sure want to be dominant here on the ball and see if we can create some good moments.
Probeert hij op het verkeerde been te zetten?
Sorry?
Probeert hij op het verkeerde been te zetten?
Exactly.
Oude collega.
Yes, exactly. That would be nice.
Eentje naar links, ja.
Uit zijn de resultaten in de Champions League natuurlijk geweldig. Heb je het gevoel dat het misschien te veel druk is in thuiswedstrijden?
No, I don't. I don't feel that. I think overall there's always pressure when we play at home, because it's an amazing stadium, amazing supporters. But I don't feel that's the reason why we haven't won at home. We already talked about the Leverkusen game, the German champions. You can always lose a game against them, I think, and the way we did it is probably what hurts us the most, because in many phases of the game we actually played a good game, but we gave away 4 goals too easily. Salzburg game was different also. David talked a little bit about it. We were maybe a bit fatigued, a bit tired. had a couple of injuries, which also had an impact. And then we give away a goal, minute 46, just before halftime, which has an impact. When you are 0-1 down at home in Champions League, then you have to force things, and you play against a good team from Salzburg. And then we ended up losing 3-1, and that's also what it is. So I think there's different reasons why we ended up losing these games, but I don't think it's due to extra pressure. We all love to play here. It's an amazing stadium. You guys feel it also when you're here. Our supporters are the best ones in the country, so everybody would love to play here.
Ja. En het Feyenoord publiek is best wel kritisch op het spel van Feyenoord, de resultaten. Dat begrijp je dus wel.
Of course, it's football, and definitely when you're a top club, you need to win. That's why we're here.
Yeah, we're going to do two more. One in the front and one at the back.
Hello, Brian. What is your fondest memory of Sparta in Prague? What do you miss the most, actually, from the time there?
Well, I think there's obviously the two titles, the two championships were for sure amazing. First one was a big relief for everybody in the club. You definitely felt it. But I think how we won the second one made me probably the most proud. How we took those steps, and we were able to be dominant throughout the whole season. And then I had 2 amazing years, not just in the club but also in the city, and a lot of good people, a lot of good Czech like yourself who showed the respect to me and also to us. So it was something that I will for sure always remember.
How hard was it to switch from Sparta to Feyenoord? If you could take me back to those crucial days, was there a time when you didn't think it would happen? And what was the key part why you're here, actually, that the club let you go? Because there was some back and forth.
Well, there's no doubt that the club also knew that I had ambitions to try something else at a certain point. And we already knew before the season ended that maybe that summer something would happen. So I for sure pushed for a transfer, no doubt about it. But yes, it was difficult because I had it fantastic in the club. I had a really good relationship and cooperation with Rosicki, who had a massive impact in the whole success that we had. Without him, I would never come to Sparta, and how we worked together on the pitch, but also next to the pitch together was fantastic. And he definitely has a big, as I said, impact in the success we had. I said it for 2 years. It was not just about me; it was about us. How we worked together, how we were able to cooperate the two cultures together. So that was definitely also one of the reasons that it made it a bit more difficult to leave the club. But sometimes you have to make difficult choices, and as I said, I had the ambition to try to take it to the next level and next step. And Feyenoord for me was that step on the road, and I'm happy that at the end the club agreed to let me go, and also made it a good story for them that they sold a coach.
Also, Tomáš Rosický and Lars Friis have come under some criticism in the last weeks because the results haven't been so good. Could you follow up a little bit on your last answer? What do you feel about their work and why the club and the fans should still have belief in them?
Well, I think it's football in general. It goes up and it goes down sometimes. I know the squad is more or less the same than when I left. Yes, they lost Krejci and Kuchta. Then they've been a little bit unlucky with injuries as well, which always has an impact on clubs and on teams. But why they are not performing at their best, it's difficult for me to give an opinion straight on. And I don't think it should be me talking about this. Of course, sad on their behalf that they are not where they want to be, because as I said, I got good friends there, good colleagues there, and people who meant a lot for me. So of course I wish them always success, just not tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Then we unfortunately are enemies for a couple of hours.
Is there of course with Lars you know each other very well, who is going to have the upper hand, and is there some Guardiola overthinking in terms of the game theory, like what's he going to do and you are going to do? Is it tougher in this regard to come up with something?
We actually try to keep it as simple as possible, and it's not about Lars and it's not about me. It's about Feyenoord and Feyenoord winning. So we actually try to prepare that we like we normally do. Try to set up a game plan against Sparta. Prepared for various scenarios that we know that Sparta are able to play. So yeah, we try to do the normal procedure, and then, as I said, then on small details on individual qualities of the players, etc. Then of course we know maybe a little bit more than normally, which we have been trying to give on. But again, it's going to be 90 minutes of tough football out there tomorrow. It's Champions League. No easy games, and you also saw that Sparta has been able to take point in Stuttgart, for example, so they can pick up good results away from home as well.
Yes, so wrap it up with Daniel.
Hello, Brian. Daniel Reyes from Mexico. I want to know your opinion about Santiago Jimenez. He just come back. He scored twice. He started the last game. What do you think about him?
Yeah, I'm happy to see that we got Santi back and available for minutes. Yeah, we saw the impact straight away in Man City and also the weekend after. So it's definitely been good, and I think he's not in top form, but he's in a good shape and he's in good form. I think from a mental point of view, he's in a really good period. He definitely came back stronger from the injury. So he's taken the steps that we expect in this period. We know he will not be at his absolute best. It's difficult when you've been out for that long and then slowly coming back in, and you need to find your rhythm in the games as well. But he's definitely taken the steps, and we're all happy to have him in the group with us again.
And the last one that I want to do, we thought that he will be back until next year, maybe January. What was the key, or what was the secret that he was back before that? And he already said that he was really happy with Feyenoord, that they allowed to go to Mexico to get fit.
Yeah, it's a good question, and it's difficult for me to answer completely. But I think the thing you mentioned at the end, I think it's one of the issues that we allowed him to go back to his home country, to Mexico, and to recover a bit. From a mental point of view, it's always nice when players can go home to their families, friends, while they're doing rehab. It also gives a mental boost, and sometimes that mental boost can help your body to get to recover quicker. And then Santi is just professional. He's always working. He's never lying still, and that definitely also has an impact on his fast recovery.
Yes, dank allemaal. Tot morgen.
Okay.